Now, before we jump on out of here, we got a story. Bayley calls for the return of a pay per view. But before we get into the story, like for the algorithm, hit the subscribe button and we're going to talk about it. So, Bayley appeared on Cody Rhodes' podcast. Oh, Cody Rhodes has a podcast? Yes, Cody Rhodes has a podcast. Do you want to take a stab at what the name of that podcast might be? He says it every week.
What do you want to talk about?
Ding, ding, ding. That is what the name of the podcast is. So she appeared on the What Do You Want to Talk About podcast. And she said, now, obviously, it's Bayley, so she's pumping up the women's division, but she'd be interested in having a women's evolution part two. She thinks that the roster is deep enough to warrant a all women's pay per view.
Just because you have a lot of bitches on your roster doesn't mean that it's deep. You have Rhea Ripley. You might have Charlotte, depending on what form she comes back in. That's about it.
Well, I was thinking, could we
No.
even make a card out of all women's pay per view?
I mean, you can make a card. It wouldn't be a good one.
It depends on like when they would throw the pay per view out there. Like if you throw it out there now, it's going to be different than if you throw it out there a few months when like Charlotte's back, maybe Becky's back. But if we were to book it now, I would say yeah, you got Rhea Ripley. She would be on the card. Who her opponent is, I guess. The only thing right now would be Liv Morgan. The women's titles have to be on the card. So you got Bayley, who she goes against. I couldn't even tell you. I guess Tiffany Stratton would be the name there. You have to get the agenda on the card. So Jade Cargill, Bianca Belair. And I guess you would put them against the tag champions, Isla Dawn, Alba Fire. There's four. And the beautiful thing about Triple H is you only have to book out 5 matches. So you would have one more match. I don't even know what the last match would even entail. I would say you pull up Roxanne Perez temporarily and then have her face. You can do Io versus Roxanne, I guess, for the title. So I guess that's your 5 matches. They don't make sense. They don't have stories outside of a couple. Again, if you would wait for Charlotte Flair to get back, you can maybe add some depth there. But is that even enough to hold interest? Obviously, I don't think so. So it'd be a tough sell to bring back the women's pay per view. Maybe they can just do like a TV special women's thing.
You know what? They should just leave WWE and just start their own promotion.
There's one. Wow.
There you go. They should just leave WWE and join WoW. Make that a global leader in sports entertainment and shit.
That would be interesting to see, but I just don't think there's enough depth. And there's also talks of adding women's mid card titles for Raw and SmackDown. And again, we don't have enough depth to do that. So I think the time is right. You can't even book the women's tag titles right now. So why would you add more titles?
They have the depth. They just don't have anybody that would make them interesting. Like you'd have, I don't know, Zelina Vega as something, and then Chelsea Green as the other one. And just like you said, they have existing titles that don't mean shit. Bayley's a champion.
You have to remember that.
Like, yeah.
It's not just like, who's the champion? Oh, yeah, Bayley. No, you got to be like, who's the champion? Oh, yeah, Bayley.
Liv Morgan's the other champion. She's the definition of a seat filler.
Well, we'll see about that. I have theories, but we'll find out next week on our prediction show. But as always, let us know what you think about this in the comments. Do you want to see a Women's Evolution Part 2? And what are some of the matches you would book for that card if you wanted to see it? Or just what are some of the matches you would put on the card? Let us know below, and we'll see you on the next video. And that is essentially it. But we do have one thing to show you on the way out. We're going to slip this in because it has to be shown. Hulk Hogan, he showed up at the Trump rally thing, and he went like pure 80s Hulk Hogan. So on our way out, we're going to play his little speech, and then we'll send ourselves out here. Till next time, Hogan, play us out, and we're out.
But what happened last week when they took a shot at my hero and they tried to kill the next president of the United States? enough was enough. And I said, let Trumpomania run wild, brother. Let Trumpomania rule again. Let Trumpomania make America great again.